What is up, everyone? I hope you're doing well out there today. JD here with another everyday carry video for you. Today I'm actually going to be doing the full review of the Protech Malibu. Now, the Protech Malibu has a 3.3 inch reverse Tonto coated and tumble washed 20 CV blade. Really like that reverse Tonto. Not just the look, but from a functionality perspective, the way the strength comes down to the tip of the blade really makes this super duper functional. And I really wouldn't have thought about a reverse Tonto over a drop point from that perspective. Now, the handle length is 4.25 inches, making the knife an overall 7.5 inch knife, which actually it would be a little bit longer than that. If you add those together, it'd be more like 7 3/4 ish. The blade thickness is 0.13 inch, which is really slicey. I did a review of the Spyderco Native a little while back, and it also, little Native, was 0.3 inches. So this is a really slicey knife. I think some folks probably will see that flat grind not going fully up and think that that thickness equates to this being a chunky knife, and at 0.13 inches, that is not thick at all. The weight on this knife is 2.99 ounces, making it an ultra lightweight knife on this channel. The other thing that I really do like, frame with the aluminum coated scales. I really do like that. I like how they integrated the lanyard hole into that, the back spacer. I really think it helps. It doesn't stick up and the jimping is not like a hot spot, but I do think that it helps with the smooth aluminum, keeping your hand from moving on the knife. Also, these are not hot either. This is very well done. The knockdown is done very well, so that when it's in hand, it is very comfortable. The ergonomics are really nice on this. The other thing that I've really enjoyed about this from a fidget factor is that button lock is super easy to operate. It is on bearings in the pivot, which explains why the action it's fall shut. You're not going to get that with washers. It might drop shut, but not like that. I mean, that is really impressive action. The finish on this knife is outstanding. It is very well done. I mean, Protech just has a home run on their hands. They can do a bunch of different variants of this, and I think it's going to continue to sell well, and rightfully so. The action is really nice. It feels like it could be really heavy duty. The more I interact with button lock knives, the more confidence I have on them. The lockup on them is really nice. Let me go ahead and do some comparison with the usual suspects. I really kind of jumped into the knife, and that's just because I'm enjoying it so much. I like this knife a lot. I really do. I think it's going to be right up in there in the top of my rotation. The usual suspects, the Para 3 and the Paramilitary 2. As you can tell, this just really falls in between. Handle length, very similar to the Para 3, which has really good handle to blade ratio for me, meaning I can get a full grip on it, and it's a small blade that's not very intimidating. It's a 3-inch blade. The Paramilitary 2 is much larger, but it still gives you really close cutting edge similarities, and that's because that 3.3 inch reverse Tonto being a little bit longer than your typical drop point. Now, some other, as I call them, usual suspects, is going to be the Benchmade bug out, which is probably going to be really close to what this gets compared to, because blade length is very similar, handle length very similar, 2.99 versus 2.12 with the Flatanium scales on it. So you're probably going to see a lot of comparisons, and people are going to probably say, no, this really compares more so with the Osborne. Look at this. I mean, how can you justify saying this compares to the Osborne more so than the bug out? I mean, the blades very similar in footprint, handles very similar in footprint, thickness very similar. This is thinner. The bug out is thinner than anything else out there, But this is not thick. Do not let that integral back spacer fool you. This is not a thick knife. Let me go ahead and get my Hogue Doug Ritter out here for the comparison as well. As you can see, the Protech is smaller and a little bit more slender, but the ergonomics on it are really, really, really good. Now, some knives that I want to compare to, and I actually meant to pick up the bug out there, sorry about that. The other comparisons that I want to do with are other Buttonlock knives, and that is going to be the Civivi Elementum Buttonlock. I use the micarta variant even though I have the black one, but because I have the black table, I feel like that helps visually for you guys. So that's the only reason that you don't really see me pulling out the black G10 variant of that. But I really do like, I pick one up and then the next time I'll pick the other one up. I love both. They both feel so different in hand because of the micarta and the G10. The other push button lock, because this has, oh, did I touch? No, that was my finger. Whew. I thought I was up here cutting, cutting knives with knives. Wow. Anyway, from a fidget factor, this is still one of my favorite knives. Now, one of the things that I did realize recently that I hadn't noticed before, it does have a little bit of blade lash. It's the detent ball just a little bit loose. I'm like having to shake the heck out of it to try to get it to make that noise. So if you're not hearing it, then it's not that prominent. I'm gonna stop fidgeting over my knives here because I just dropped it a minute ago and made a mark on my Elementum. Thankfully it was just the side, but I think I had a mild heart attack when that fell. So as you can see here, Protech is smaller. 3.5 inch blade on both of these button lock knives, and very different mechanisms overall. This is more of like the automatic style where it has the spring button lock in there, and that is what pushes it back and forth. The actual Elementum is more like the Spyderco than it is the Protech, and that's because I'm trying to focus on the focus to get it in there, but I don't have, and actually I'm glad I have this out here. I forgot I brought this down. Let's see if that helps. You see, it is a reverse liner lock. Hopefully this helps you guys see the actual reverse liner lock now. And when you compress this, that's actually what is causing the blade to be able to move, because it has a liner lock up here on the top. So on the Spyderco, you can really, if I go down a little bit more and it'll focus, you can really see it there where the button is actually pushing the reverse liner lock, which this is a compression lock even though it has the button. So the knife blade is touching the table, but you can see now it's all locked up. But when it comes back out, sorry, I had my pinky on it, you can see the liner there. So it does work very much like the compression lock on the two paramilitary knives. So when this comes out, you can see it has that reverse liner lock system in there where it's snagging on the back of the blade instead of the bottom, which I really appreciate that because it does allow you to keep your fingers removed from the blade path. All right, make sure that's off. I don't want to kill my battery. Probably need to charge those up. I haven't charged them in a while. So, final thoughts on the Protech Malibu. Highly recommendable knife. Very, very well built American made knife. Excellent quality, fit, finish. I just really like everything about it. I don't even care that it's not reversible on the pocket clip because that show side looks so nice. It's so clean, so unintimidating to me. I know that's my opinion, but I just feel like this is very much so not a tactical feeling knife, to whereas you get into the Benchmade's here and they have all that hardware and that axis lock. It just looks more tactical to me, not intimidating, but more tactical, and same with the Hogue. Now that's not to say that it's not as tactical looking as that. You know, that to me right there is the ultimate pocket knife. Like that to me is like super tactical and intimidating. Like I feel like Crocodile Dundee when he's like, that's not a knife. this is a knife. That's what I feel like when I break this out. Like, I'm laughing so much at myself right now that I can't even operate this thing. So, my final thoughts. Excellent knife. Highly recommendable. It flexes into so many areas. You can EDC this knife and not have any other knives except maybe like a small backup. I think this knife is going to last you a long time. Premium TCV 20 CV steel. Fit and finish, the quality on this, the warranty, like, this is just a really, really well-made American knife. I highly recommend it if you're thinking about it. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Think about subscribing. Comments help the YouTube algorithm. Turning on your notifications lets you know when more content comes out. I seriously appreciate all the support, guys. It really means a lot to me. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.